Hey there, it's Kelly from Silly Moon Quilting Co. We're going to show you really quickly how to do a really neat little design using Cupid. We're going to be doing a heartbeat using Cupid. It's almost Valentine's Day, and also to say thanks to all the healthcare workers. If anyone's got a quilt that they're doing for a healthcare worker, this is a great little design. So what I've done is I've made these marks. I'm using the inside of Cupid 6/4. So that would mean this will put a heart in a 4-inch block. So I've got my center here. I've got a strip that is 6 inches wide, or 8 inches wide. And I've got a line here, and then which is the center, and then I've got a line that is 2 inches off of there. So that's going to put my center line of my heart on that line. So I've already put my thread down, and as usual, I'm going to be hooking up my ruler foot in behind, or my ruler in behind my ruler foot. And I'm using this marked line or engraved line that goes through the center of the hole to line up with my second line. Okay, and then we're just going to make sure we're nice and square, and we're going to make sure you hold on tight. And come up and around. And you're going to stop when you reach the needle stop. Then you're going to take your heart ruler and you're going to flip it around to the other side of the ruler foot. And again, down at this end, move this out a bit so you can see. So at this end, we want to make sure that the line that goes through the center there is lined up as well. So this design actually takes a little bit of backtracking, but that's okay. I think it's kind of cool. So we're going to go down. That'll bring us down to our heart, and we're going to stop at our heart bottom, and then we're going to come back up. Now, because you're using a ruler, as long as you don't move it, you'll end up the same, and we're going to come up to the line through the center of my heart. And then I'm just going to use the edge of my heart ruler and make sure that I'm nice and square. And I'm going to do a few stitches, making sure that I'm staying on that line. Then I'm going to also use the edge of my ruler of my heart, and this is where I want to create the spikes of a heartbeat. So there I'm square. You can see I've got a line there and there through the ruler. So I'm just going to kick it over just a tiny, tiny bit at an angle, and then I'm going to stitch up all the way up to where I meet my first line there. And then I'm going to turn it just a tiny bit the other direction so that I'm going to be coming down at an angle. Let's move that right over to where I'll turn this around so you can see it. So I've turned this part over. I've done my first line. Now I've moved this over so where these two lines intersect on the foot, I come back down. And I'm going to stop when I get to the line. But I want to keep going down a little further because, of course, a heartbeat is more than just on top. So then I'm going to come down and I'm going to do a little tiny bit there. And then I'm going to angle it back up to my line and stop. I went off my ruler a bit there. That's okay. And then I'm going to go over a little bit. And then I'm going to go up a little bit. You're just kind of giving the effect of a heartbeat. So it doesn't really matter what angles you use, as long as they're both angled. And we want to go a little bit more. And I don't know if I'm doing this right as far as whether it's a good heartbeat or not, but I don't think that really matters. I think the idea is more just to get the heartbeat in there. And then come back up. Now we have to remember that our starting point for our heart is down at this bottom line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my ruler around, and I'm going to line up like I were to stitch down that next heart. So I see here that if I do that, I'm going to run into that line. So I'm going to stitch over just a bit more so that I'm not stitching over top of a line I've already stitched. I'm going to stop there. And I'm going to hook up my ruler again, but I'm going to just butt up against the ruler foot, and I'm going to make sure that on the bottom here, my line is lined up on that seam And then I will have to do a bit of backtracking again on that one. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to stop there. Once I get to the bottom, then I'm going to come back up and come around and stop at the peak of my heart, and then I'm going to flip my heart around and come back up and around. And you just want to carry this design on along the length of your border. And you can see you end up with a really cool little heartbeat. So thanks for stopping in, and that's using Cupid 6.4, but if depending on the size of the border, you can certainly do that with any of our Cupid rulers, so Cupid 6.4 or Cupid 5.3. Thanks so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and take care.